Hi folks, Mr. Long here. Today I'm going to do a screencast on solving quadratic equations using the method of completing the square. So when we do this, one of the first things that we have to make sure we know is that we get into this form here of x squared plus bx equals d. We need that format to solve by completing the square. So if I look here, I've got, on this side, I've got 2x, and I should only have the constant of 5, right? So I'm going to start by subtracting 2x from both sides, and that's my inverse operation. 7x squared minus 2x's is going to equal 5, okay? So 7x squares minus 2x equals 5. Now what I need to do is I still don't have it in the correct form. I need just x squared, right? And I should maybe highlight that. I need 1x squared. I can't complete 7 squares at a time. I can only complete 1 square. So what I'm going to do is divide everything by 7. Okay, divide by 7. So that's going to become divide by 7, divide by 7, divide by 7. And I'm going to end up with x squared minus 2/7 x. And that's going to be equal to 5/7. So at this point, I need to literally complete the square. Okay, and I have to split that apart so that I get half of negative 2/7. And so I know I've got an x squared here, and I have to take half of 2/7. So there's a couple ways to do that. So with your calculator, literally you can go 1/2 multiplied by 2/7, right? That's one way to do it. And really you don't even need your calculator. It's just 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. You can do it that way, right? Which ends up being 1/7. Or that's a computational way to do it. Or you can just look at it and go, you know what? I've got 2 pieces that are each the size of a 7th. Well, 2 pieces, or think of it as you have 2 slices out of a 7-slice pizza, right? Well, what's half of that? 2 slices of a 7-slice pizza, half of that is 1/7, right? So, you know, that's a way to do it if you are struggling at all. So then we end up with x squared minus 1/7 x minus another 7th of x, and that equals 5/7. So now what I do is I go over here and I actually complete the square. So this is going to be negative 1/7 x, negative 1/7 x, and so that distance is x by x, right? Well, if that distance from there to there is x, that's part of the same rectangle. That's x. And that's also x. So since this is 1/7 of x, negative 1/7 of x, that means that's negative 1/7. Okay, so this is x by x minus 1 over 7 minus 1 over 7. Okay, now I have to literally complete the square here. Okay, I'm literally completing the square. And that's going to be, you can see here, it makes perfect sense that it's going to be negative 1/7 multiplied by negative 1/7. Okay, and that's going to become 1 over 49, because 1 times negative 1 is 1. 7 times 7 is 49, 1/49. So I had to add 1/49 to complete the square. So right here, I can say add 1/49. Okay, I'm adding 1/49 to both sides. What does that look like? Well, it's going to look like x minus 1/7 squared is going to equal 5/7 plus 1/49. Notice that in class I might not have done this. I often forget in class, but here I've left space right here. And I always leave I should always leave space there, because in case I need a common denominator. 7ths and 49ths. So what do I need to multiply this by to get 49? Well, I have to multiply it by 1, which is 7 over 7. 7 divided by 7. And now I've got, if we look at this, now I've got 5 times 7 is 35, right? If I look here, 5 times 7 is 35 plus 1. Oh, 35 plus 1 is 36. Okay, so I can simplify that now. And I have x minus 1/7 squared equals 5 times 7, 35 plus 1, 36 over 49. And now what's the inverse operation? Square root both sides, right? I square root both sides. And so if I do that, we know we get the absolute value function. And then I square root 36. That's 6. And I square root 49. And that is 7. Okay, so now I have this. Just off to the right, I'm going to make a little graph. So I know that 1/7 is the x-intercept of this absolute value function, right? And I'm trying to figure out the y value here when y equals, or sorry, the x value when it intersects at y equals 6/7, right? So it's going to be right there and right there. So those are the two intersection points I'm looking for. What I have to remember is that since that is 6/7 from there to there, that distance there is also 6/7. So I'm going to go to the right by 6/7 and to the left by 6/7 with 1/7 in the middle. Okay, so x is going to equal 1/7 plus or minus 6/7. X equals 1 plus 6 is 7, so 7/7, which is 1, or x equals 1/7 minus 6/7, which is 1 minus 6 is -5. Okay, -5/7. Now if I look at this, seems very reasonable because I've got one answer of -5/7, and then this one out here is at 1. Okay, the intersection point to the right is at 1. The intersection point to the left is at x equals -5/7. Okay, and that makes perfect sense because the middle is at 1/7. So I'll just highlight those answers. Okay, so those are your two solutions. Okay, and that's the method of completing the square. I would encourage you to rewind this, watch it again if you have any problems. I would always do the question yourself. So you watch me do it, and now what I would do is just write down the original question and try and do it on your own. Okay, and if you can do that, then you'll be able to tackle the homework with success. All right, good luck, folks.